Hi, this is John Hartz, and welcome to episode 33 of Valleys of Numenor. We're up to the season 2 premiere of Foundation. We're going to pick things up 138 years in the future as Gaal and Salvor are on Synax. What else is going on at the time? Let's find out. Episode 33, Foundation 0201, in Seldon Shadow. I figured to save time, I'll shorten the intro to that from now on, just the season 02 or whatever, and the episode number, just do it that way. I'll also try to mention the directors more like what I did with the Rings of Power. One interesting note from last season's directors, Roxanne Dawson, who did several of the ones towards the end of the season. She's actually probably best known as Lieutenant Torres from Star Trek Voyager. Several of the ones in the middle of last season were done by prolific TV director Alex Graves. He did a whole bunch of Game of Thrones episodes, and he gets the duties here in episode 1. The show opens with Harry flashing in and out in black and white. No epilepsy warnings, sorry. And he's discussing to himself a lot of what was going on last season. He seems to be suffering, but he's dead and just a disembodied entity, right? Well, apparently not. His essence is still in conflict. On Synax, we get the repeat of the end of last season, but Gaal and Salvor flesh things out a little more. Gaal knew Mary, so that's the point of connection for them, since even though they're mother and daughter, they're total strangers. And from the way the sleep stasis worked, Salvor is actually older than Gaal in biological terms. That's time travel for you. Now, Trantor has changed a lot. It's now surrounded by these rings that are essentially kind of like space stations. The planet is now a bit more open, so people can now see plants and hills and rocks and things. But the empire itself is contracting. The Foundation has been growing out little by little from Terminus, so that must be on the Emperor's mind if they actually knew it was still out there. Something else has changed. Cleon Version Day and Demerzel are having a meeting horizontally. Yeah, that kind. Don't try to work out all the logistics. You'll just get a headache. Just come to terms that robots have advanced a lot. One thing that hasn't changed, though, is people trying to kill the king. We get 4 guys who bust into the palace trying to do just that. One of them gets to the bed and slices Demerzel's head right in half. Day gets out of bed and battles the guys butt naked. Oh yeah, but he's got his shield, right? Well, not quite. It's not really working. So while he takes the men out eventually, take that, Viggo Mortensen, he takes a shot right through the shoulder and a blade across the chest before Demerzel gets up and kills the guy. With half a head, he takes the Emperor to the medical chamber and makes sure he's able to survive the attack. Back in Harry Strange's existence, he's in this hall of mirrors of sorts and can't figure the way out. Suddenly he remembers his mother when he was a child. She teaches him about how things make shadows in a different dimension. But his dad gets all ticked off. He tore a page out of the book and slaps him back to quote-unquote reality. He then realizes he's leaving a 3D shadow from a 4D world and then is able to step out. He heads up or down a set of stairs and sees his wife Doris. No, he calls her Yana. He unloads his problems to her even though she knows she died. When she starts reciting things back to him, he knows it's not really her, but he's not really sure who it is. On Synax, Gaal wakes up from a nightmare and finds Salvor missing. She dives into the water to try to find her, but then a boat sails over top her. The Watcher in her can't stop her from waking up early, so she went fishing. Gaal tells her about her visions of the future. Salvor says she has visions of the past. She asks Mom why she hasn't activated the Prime device yet to see what's going on. Gaal says she can't. Hardin flips a coin and determines she's not telling him the truth. Over on Terminus, things are way more built up than where they were from last time we left it. One night the power goes out, the emergency sirens sound. No one there has ever heard it. It's the siren to let them know the vault is opening, which it hasn't done in 130-something years. But why now? Apparently, war with the Empire is coming soon. Harry keeps trying to figure out who his quote-unquote wife is, then realizes from how she's speaking it's another mathematician, Callie, the one whose calculations he used to create the Prime Radiant. Oh, wait a minute, he's in there! Oh, no, again, he was trapped there by Gaal. Well, at least one of them was, anyway. Outside, Salvor convinces her to open it up and see what's going on. They see this line of history and events that branch off in two directions. The blue line is the way they were supposed to go according to Harry's plan. The red line is what's actually happening. One crisis after another, after another, after another, unless they start dealing with it now. Back on Trantor, Day is getting treated when Dawn comes to visit him. He's a lot looser than the Days we've seen before. There's apparently going to be some kind of marriage. The assassins were blind angels, literally without eyes. He tells his shadow master that they came in through the servant's way, then has them shot. Day is planning to extend the Cleon line the old-fashioned way, with kids, hence the marriage. That seems to threaten the other two Cleons, so Day will have their brains checked to make sure that it wasn't them that planned the assassination. He talks to Demerzel, who's in the process of fixing her head. She tells him what they're doing is perfectly normal. You just keep telling yourself that. A giant alien ship is hovering over Trantor and sends a vessel down. Queen Sareth is coming to be the Emperor's queen. As Day and Dusk discuss their situation, try to say that 3 times fast, she arrives with her entourage. It turns out she did some behind-the-scenes actions to take the crown. The two emperors both know the genetic change from Season 1 has continued to manifest itself in more and more different clones. They're no longer the matches of one another. So a new direction is needed, hence the marriage. Gaal and Salvor realize there's nothing more they can do on Synax, so they have to get off planet, and there's only one way to do it. They'll have to resurface hardened ship, but it'll take them being underwater for several minutes to get it done. One of them won't be able to do it alone, but 2 of them might be able to get it done by trading oxygen. They dive down and make their way through the ship. Harden passes out, so Gaal gives her oxygen literally by blowing it into her. Salvor wakes up and is able to refloat the ship, but as she gets up there, Gaal is not waking up. Come on, live, damn it, live! You've never given up on anything in life, so... Oh, wait a minute, that's something else. Gaal does finally exhale the water and can breathe again, though not without pain. Sareth comes before the Cleons and presents them with the original paints they use in the murals. Day gives her a model of Trantor. She says, you give me one world when you have so many. And are the rings there to overcompensate for your weakness? Demerzel then alerts them that a body has been found in space, the one who was investigating the broken comm relay to Terminus back like 130 years ago. On his recording, they find out the entire system was not destroyed in the flare, but the Anacreons knocked out the comm system. And we see good old Farah beat the guy up on camera. He also lets them know about the Invictus before he's knocked out. Dusk wants the whole system destroyed, but Demerzel counsels patience until they figured out how powerful the Foundation is. Harry and Callie try to work out how he can get himself out of the situation he's in. Turns out she's the living embodiment of the Prime Radiant. She gets him to realize his mind is damaged, as he knew it was, but needs to think now on how to emerge from a 4D world into a 3D one. She says they will meet again once he's out. He may get out with help because Salvor needs him to help launch the beggar back into space. But Harry comes out on his own and confronts Gaal on how she's messed everything up. I guess they must have got their footing last season because this goes in a bunch of totally new directions. Harry being trapped in his own matrix, as it were, is completely different from where we were last year. It's a whole different conception of things. And the Cleons are now in a different place as well, contemplating changes to their legacy the others never would have dreamed of. The Gaal Salvor plotline is the only one that's following along the same general path of mindset as last season. But all that's a good thing, as long as you have a steady hand directing it, like Alex Graves, for example, you can shake things up as you move forward. Now, one little Easter egg, one of the worlds noted on the outer rim when they're looking at the end there is Smyrna, which in the original stories is the home of a character who will be showing up soon. So they're starting off the new season on a fairly strong foot. For all the joking about Skinamax moments I made last season, we really got one this time out. Well, that's what streaming is for, pushing those boundaries out as far as they can go. They're definitely going to deal with the second crisis this season, so it'll be interesting to see how they resolve the two different Harrys we have floating out there, as it were. See where we end up. Next time we get a glimpse of darkness as the vault opens up again, and Gaal sees a not too nice future. That's next on Valleys of Numenor. Please hit the subscribe button, either audio or video, if you like what you're hearing. I'm John Hartruck. Thanks for listening.